your digital marketing specialist with Digital Marketing with Mustafa. Today is Sunday, May the 24th. I just wanted to put together this video to speak and document a process that I'm reinstituting among myself, and hopefully it will inspire you to do some amazing things as well. Today is Sunday, May 24th. As I mentioned, I am off work today. So, one thing that I want to get back into the habit of is using off days, particularly Sunday, as at the beginning of a new week, is to batch create content. As content creators, you know as well as I that every week we have to show up and create content, whether that's reels, whether that's video, whether that's blog posts, whether that's memes, social media posts, long form content like a video like this, thus and so. We have to put information out there and content that our audience can consume and keep us active in the algorithm and keep ourselves active in the cycle of information that's constantly being put out there. But as I said in a couple of days, that life be lifing. That sometimes if you work 8 hours a day, the last thing on your mind is coming home to record a video or to create some content or create short form content, even which may be 1 or 2 minutes, or a blog post, or memes or social media. You may have just enough energy to come home to eat, bathe, lay down, and get ready to start a new day all over again. That's why batch creation is such a powerful process and tool to allow to make sure that as a content creator that your content flows every week, regardless of life being life, and content flows every week. So today is the beginning of me kickstarting my batch creating process again. And I want to inspire you to do the same as well. If you're a content creator like I am, if you're engaged in any type of social media content creating, or you are YouTubing or podcasting or blogging or anything like that, this is the day that you want to get busy and create a lot of content. Now, sometimes I myself, I create content on the fly. Sometimes an idea may come across my mind and I may think, man, that'd be a great message. So let me go ahead and record a video right quick. Let me make a reel. Let me make a short out of that. Or man, that'd be a great thought that I just thought of. Let me make a social media post about that. Or let me create a meme related to that thought that came across my mind. Or man, that'd be a great subject for me to break down further. Let me make a blog post out of that and make an article about that. That does happen. But I want you to think about this. If you've been doing this for a long time and you are a subject matter expert in a particular niche, then you can create on Sunday a theme for the upcoming week. You can decide for the next 7 days, this is the theme or the subject that I want to talk about, right? To your audience. And this can be relevant to any field. This works for any field. If you're in health, if you're in the health and wellness, then you're talking about health and wellness. If you're in the real estate, you're talking about real estate. If you're in auto maintenance, repair, sales, or anything like that, then that's what you're talking about. If you're in the motivation and the mental wellness field, then that's what you're talking about. But within those particular field, there are different lanes that you can talk about, and you can decide, for the next 7 days, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then based on the theme of that week, then you can just start creating that micro content, like 2 to 3 reels for a week. A reel is only 1 to 2 minutes long. And if you get intentional about it, then you can create all your reels for the week in 8 to 10 minutes. My reels average between 2 to 3 minutes, right? So if I decide to on Sunday, I'm gonna go ahead and make all my reels for the week. So that's, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. Let's say that let's go max it out at 3 minutes. That's 15 minutes on a Sunday. I got 5 days worth of reels if I do that process right there. I would have 5 reels for a week. If if I like to make memes, which I do, then I can go ahead and create 2 to 3, 4, 5, or I can just go 7 memes made for the week. And a meme, all you need is an idea. And then you need a template which you can create in Canva, or you can create from scratch out of your own creativity in your mind. And then you just filling in the words and filling in some imagery, associated imagery, to make it pop. And boom, you got all your memes for the week. And then if you like me, you like to talk deeper into a subject, you know what I'm saying? Then you can create a long form video like this. This is not going to be a long video, but for instance, you can create a 20 to 30 minute video, right? And boom, you got your video for the week. And then from that long form video, again, you can take snippets of that long form 20 to 30 minute video, and then now you got little micro episodes that you can sprinkle throughout the week. You get what I'm saying? And if you follow this type of thinking, then you can always have content throughout the week. So when you come home on that Wednesday and you tired as heck and you ain't thinking about doing anything, you already got some content already created, right? And then the second thing that you want to do is, once you batch create all this content on Sunday, and myself, I choose Sunday because that's one of my off days, right? And most of us may be off on Saturday and Sunday, or maybe work Saturday and off on Sunday, depending on what your job reality is and what your schedule is. But for me, I'm off on Sunday. So Sunday is a perfect time for me to go ahead and create that content from Monday through the next Sunday. And that's what I'm going to do today. And as I mentioned, you can create up to 5 reels, 2 to 3 minutes, in 15 minutes or less. You can create your memes, 3 to 5 memes, and if you got a good template or a few templates that you already have and you just repurposing them, then all you got to do is just put your information in there, the text of the meme, and then maybe swap out some of the information, and you can do that in minutes. You can create, of course, a long form video going to take 20 to 30 minutes. That's time already accounted for. And then, if you want to create a few social media posts that you want to speak on your theme for the week, we're talking about a few minutes to create, those social media posts. So all in all, in under 2 hours, probably an hour to an hour and a half, you can have a week's worth of content already established, right? And most social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, maybe TikTok, um, maybe LinkedIn, they have some type of scheduling option already built in. I know Facebook and Instagram do because I use it all the time. Uh, YouTube does as well, I believe. But you can go ahead and schedule your content for the week, set it and go. So you can say here on Monday, this post right here is going to be scheduled to drop at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., excuse me, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. This is when this episode is going to drop. On Tuesday, I want this reel to drop at 3 p.m. On Wednesday, I want this social media post to drop. On Thursday, I want this clip of the long form video that I produced to drop. On Friday, I want this to drop. And you just do it and you schedule this and you're good to go. And if you want to blast and put it all out there at one time, you can go to download the Buffer app or any other type mass posting app. I like to use Buffer myself. And you can go ahead and pick multiple platforms, social media platforms, and then you can have that schedule. It'll blast it whenever you say, whatever day, whatever time you say it, it'll go ahead and blast and put that information out there. So this is something that I'm going to move forward with doing, and I'm encouraging you to move forward and doing. And every Sunday, I'm going to revisit this theme of batch creation, and you'll hear it on LinkedIn, you'll hear it on Facebook, you'll hear it on Insta, you'll hear it on TikTok, you'll hear it on all of my channels. That I'm going to keep talking to us about batch creating, so that we can work smarter, not necessarily harder, that we can create all our content for the week. And then, do you know how mentally freeing that's going to be when you're not on Tuesday trying to think, what should I say for the week? Wednesday, what should I say for the week? You've already did all the mental work on Sunday to think about what you want to say for the rest of the week, and you've already created the content for the rest of the week, and you've scheduled that content for the rest of the week. So during the week, your stuff is already being posted, it's already being out there. So all you got to do is spread it further, or promote it further, or create conversations around the content you already created. Or if you're like me, you like to create stuff on the fly, I'm always going to be creating content. Even if I batch create on Sunday, something going to spark my creativity during the week, and I'm going to, man, let me make another reel for this, let me write on this, let me talk on this. That's fine. You can always, there's always room for more content. But at the bare minimum, you want to have at least 3 to 4 days of content already covered, regardless of what happens. That's the point I'm getting to. You want to have stuff already set and ready to go, regardless of what happened. And then when you create the, them sparks hit you and you come up with more content, then that's just the cherry on the top. That's the whipped cream. That's the gravy. That's putting more information out there. But that's something I just want you to think about. The day is still young. It's 3:33 p.m. where I'm at. Depending on what time zone you're in, it may be another time. But I'm asking you, can you set aside just 1 hour today as a content creator and think about, what do I want to say as a theme to my audience for the next week? And based on the theme that I want to say to my audience for the next week, what type of content do I need to create to speak to my audience? And your audience is diverse. Different people need different messages and different methods. So some people gonna need that reel, that short reel, that quick 1 minute, 2 minute message. Boom, they got it. Some gonna need just a social media post. Some are visual people. They need a meme. Some people like to see and hear. They need a video. Some people, like to read. They like to slowly digest and go over and read again and read again. They need a blog post or an article. But you can do all of that if you just get a little bit more intentional and set aside 1 hour. 1 hour in a 168-hour week is not going to kill you, but it's going to set you up for a major win in the week to come as a content creator. So I'm getting ready to log off. And I hope that something I said pricked your conscience and it made you think and made you say, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and continue to gamble and hope that maybe I come up with some content, and gamble again and hope that maybe some inspiration strike, and gamble and hope that I have inspiration and energy to put out a post on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. No, we're going to start right now. This Sunday, man. We're going to go ahead and be intentional. We're going to be purposeful. We're going to dig within ourselves. We're going to go ahead and knock all those reels out right now. 10, 15 minutes, your reels are done for the week. Another 20, 30 minutes, hey, your memes and your social media posts could be done for the week. 20 to 30 minutes, that's your long form video for the week. Again, under 2 hours, maybe an hour to an hour and a half, you have a week full of content ready to go. All you gotta do is make it happen. All you gotta do is just go forward and let's make that content pop today. So this is Mustafa, your digital marketing specialist with Digital Marketing with Mustafa. This is just one of those strategies that I use whether I'm working for myself or whether I'm working with one of my clients. If I'm managing somebody's social media account, this is how I do it. I don't sit there and try to wait to Tuesday and what should I post today, and on Thursday what should I post today. No, I think about what is that client's overall goals, what is the messaging of that client, what theme can we talk about this week, and on Sunday or another off day that I have, I go ahead and batch create that content up, and that way I schedule it and I know that that client is taken care of, and anything I do above that is gravy and whipped cream, right? So as I do it for others, I try to do it for myself. And as I do it, you can do it. And we can take this even further, but I'll go ahead and end this message on this, that you don't have to just batch create for a week. You can batch create for 2 weeks. If you want to take from an hour to maybe 2 hours to 3 hours, if you just got that kind of time, and it don't have to be consecutive time, because you may be thinking, I can't sit in front of a computer or sit in front of a phone or sit in front of a recorder for 3 hours straight and just pump out all this content. It don't have to be consecutive 2 hours or consecutive 3 hours. You can say, hey, on Sunday I'm off, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit. You deserve that. And say, hey, it's between 7 and 8. I'm gonna work one block of creating content. That may be your reels and your social media posts. And then you say, I'm gonna go do something else. And then I'm gonna come back from 12 to 1, right? And I'm gonna create another block of content that may be, 2 to 3 long form videos, maybe 20 minutes a piece, 20 to 30 minutes. You may get 2, you may get 3 videos in that hour, right? And then you may come back another block from 5:30 to 6, 6 to 7, and then you create a little bit more content. And then if you do that, then 3 hours of content is created on a Sunday, and you didn't do a lot of heavy lifting. You didn't do it consecutive. You didn't break yourself. And now you may have up to 2 weeks worth of content. And then you schedule that. And now you can take a breather for 2 weeks because you're set. All your content is good and ready to go. So that's just a way of working smarter, not harder. And maybe next week when I come back, and we're going to revisit this next week of content creating content creation Sundays. We're going to talk about the power of repurposing content, because sometimes you don't have to create your content from scratch. Sometimes you just need to go into your treasure chest or go into your closet and find out what have you already created that's winning for you, and then you repurpose it or remix it or re-say it or restate it, and that's brand new content to a whole new audience. But that's a subject for next week. I think maybe we'll go ahead and revisit, or we'll talk about, excuse me. So this is Mustafa, your digital marketing specialist, digital marketing with Mustafa. Check me out across all my social media channels. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on LinkedIn, I am on YouTube, I am on TikTok, I'm on Threads. I have my own website, digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's my one-stop shop website, which will connect you to my blog, that will connect you to my podcast, that will connect you to videos like this, my YouTube channel. I have multiple PDFs that you can download, which break down so many different subjects, like my proper prompting PDF, my 5 things to ask before you hire a digital marketer, my creating content and building your information empire with content. That's a PDF I have. I have a lot of information that's available, and it's free. All I ask is that you download it and use it and put it to your benefit. Also have a consulting offer that if you want to talk to me one-on-one, we can set that up. There's a fee for that, but it is a offer where I talk to you one-on-one. I audit, I diagnose, and come up with a strategy that will help you win. Go to digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com and you can see that offer that is made available to consult with me. And it'll be a very good decision. I don't just talk to you and let you go about your business. I follow up with you. I give you a personalized plan and strategy on what we talk about, and you can set yourself up for a lot of winning. So check that out at digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com, my one-stop shop website. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I have an amazing interview coming up with Monique Addison Stinson on what's the subject? Creating digital creation doing kingdom business in the digital era. Doing kingdom business in the digital era. That's it. So that's going to be a powerful interview coming up on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. So look out for that. It'll be coming across my channels. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.